Oxtrail.
Nice.
Two things you could always expect: Jimmy Gestapo and beer, and the end result will always be a good time.
Yes, beer.
This was great.
And Jägermeister.
We ran a tab on some poor soul and then ran out with the tab.
Was it Jimmy Gestapo?
It was not. Oh no, it was not under Jimmy Gestapo. It was under a resident friend, Jose Rodriguez.
I heard he goes by a different name in Atlanta, but let's not dox him.
Jimmy the Nose.
What would that be?
Anyway.
Hey, we're live on YouTube.
We are
Yes,
live.
we are.
We are
I want to
live.
give a shout out to my girlfriend. I just got home and she got me this. See if I can get it. Good.
You're a good girlfriend.
Good girlfriend.
The Geezer Butler book he just released.
Oh, very cool.
How awesome is that? I can't wait to read this. So let's hurry up with this show.
All right, let's do it.
About that now.
Kidding.
I think it's gonna be a
Let's
long
take
debate, though. So let's
our-
go.
Let's take our time.
It's time for Red Salad Review with your hosts, Wayne Moon, Greg Narvo, and Lou Maddox.
My God, those creepy puppets are yours. Anyway, go ahead.
You're just jealous that
man.
you're
Christ.
you're jealous because you're still not on there.
Thank
make-
Christ. Anyway,
Make
go
one.
ahead.
Make one for my show, dude. Instead of a
Right.
rat, have like I don't know, a homeless guy or something.
He did record the intro vocal on our album, Wayne. We got to cut him a break.
Yeah, make me a little cartoon intro.
I'll see what I
Have
can.
like snot coming out of my nose and stuff.
My
make
guy.
sure- And make sure Ian's
With
got
or
2
without
bottles of
the
Rolling
audio
Rock
out
in
there?
each hand.
Yeah.
I'll have to talk to Rocky. Actually, the guy who did all that artwork, his computer broke down, so he hasn't been able to do anything for a long time. So if anybody wants to donate
man.
money to Rocky Baya on Twitter, please do, because he can use a new computer. But today we are joined by a whole bunch of people. We got our usuals: Lou, James, Greg, and Cole Peterson, aka. But now we have Ralph Vieira, who's on and off the show every once in a while. Welcome,
Dr.
Ralph.
Fuck.
Yeah, every time I get off the crack and the smack, I come on Rat Salad Review. So I'm all sober now. But next week I won't be here, man. I'm missing my crack and my smack.
And then we also have a new guy, Craig. God, I'm going to forget pronounce your name wrong. Skernecki.
Yeah, that's close. Yeah,
Close
Skornecki.
enough.
I'll give you that.
Skorne, that's cool.
I've
You
only
need
worked
to
with
form
you
a
for the
band
past
and call
like
it
2 years.
Skornecki.
You think I would know by now, right?
Wait, I'm surprised you even know like what streets you're supposed to go on, let alone someone's last name.
That's true.
Well, he is a mailman, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, we don't have to know.
I mean, his mail route must be like get like packages every other time. You know,
Oh, yeah,
he's
the
not
other
putting them
people
on
are all
different doors.
bitching.
You know,
Tell him the truth, Craig.
You're all right.
You're all right,
The most-
Wayne. You're all
the
right.
the most glowing recommendation you'll ever get.
Yeah,
You
the
look at
worst route in the office. It's terrible.
I agree.
Huh?
I got not Ralph. Worst route in the office.
Oh,
I mean, at least you don't steal people's lunches. I guess that's
No,
good.
no, I don't eat lunch. We don't
This
eat
isn't
lunch.
kindergarten cop. This is the post office.
This is, but
Who is your
there's a
daddy and what
difference.
does he do?
today we are discussing the albums Ramones "Leave Home" and "Kiss Love Gun." And Greg, this was your idea. Why?
Because the 4th of July just passed, and they're like the 2 most quintessentially American bands ever. And they
But
both
why
came out
these 2
months
albums?
apart from each
Like
other.
this is like this mismatch that you gave us when we were doing the Judas
It
Priest
is.
and
It's a
Iron
big
Maiden.
mismatch.
How would you say
Well-
Ramones and Kiss are mismatched?
No. I mean, like the albums. Like this is not like this is one of like Kiss's more known albums, and this is one of the Ramones' lesser known albums.
I wouldn't agree with that.
What?
I mean, I had a hell of a time trying to find this damn album for the Ramones.
Really?
Yes, on Amazon Music, it was a pain in the ass.
It was the first thing that came up when I typed in
Yeah.
"Leave Home." Maybe you spelled it wrong.
Oh yeah, I didn't do Leave Home. I just searched the Ramones, and there was like 8. There was like 9 other albums before this one.
There are a lot of Ramones albums on there.
I
You
didn't
should
listen to
own them all.
this
Own
album.
them all.
I didn't listen to this, and I didn't listen to Love Gun because
You don't have to.
They're in my DNA.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
say, why
listen
you-
to
you
them
would
either.
have
I already
all
know 'em. Yeah.
Craig too. I mean, Craig, you're from a punk band, so this is the Ramones is all you.
Yes, and I think both of them came out in 1977.
This is correct.
Yeah.
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 Is
Yeah,
that right,
I do
Greg?
like
77 or 76?
77.
And I think it's
Okay.
more about, before we get into the debate, it's more just a celebration of just New York at the time, because there's so much fucking awesome records were coming out in that era, and it just makes me proud to be a New Yorker hearing both of them. Obviously going to pick one, but we'll get to that one. But we'll see.
Spoiler alert. We already have an idea.
That's all right. Who wants to go first? And what album do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the Ramones first, or do you want to start with Kiss first?
Actually, have Greg start. It's his
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, this is his idea.
What do you want to do, Greg? This is yours.
Yeah, Greg.
Yeah, you're holding this head. We're just all on the other side of the train.
I suppose
That's
we
not
can
where I was
start-
going to go with that one, but what?
I suppose we can start with Kiss.
Okay. All right, you go. You start with Kiss. Love Gun. Go ahead.
Well,
I-
I mean, I really don't know if you can call it a comeback, but where Rock and Roll Over was kind of a return to the first three albums, but with better production. They kind of took what they learned from Ezra.
Somebody mute Manny's mic.
It's always the Mexican guy.
God damn it. Ow.
I muted you,
Sorry,
Manny.
Greg, that's you.
Greg, continue.
So they had taken what they learned, from Ezra on Destroyer and a couple other things there, and kind of took both their halves and connected them together to make a really strong record. And kind of really the last great or truly great Kiss record before the wheels started falling off, where all four members are pretty fairly represented. I wish Ace had one more on here, but that's only because you can only take so much of Gene Simmons before the cringe gets to be too much. But no, it's a great record. It's a heavy record. Almost all the songs are memorable. There's a couple I don't really care for, being the cover that they tacked onto the end, but that's really nothing new. They did that with Kissin' Time on the debut too. But the one I don't like the most is actually Tomorrow and Tonight. And I remember reading in a book about this record, originally they were going to do what became Alive 2 in between Rock and Roll Over and Love Gun to kind of give the band a little bit of a break, but that's the way it ended up. It didn't end up turning out that way. And since they wanted to do Alive 2 with just all newer songs, I totally feel like they purposely wrote Tomorrow and Tonight as an afterthought, just to be the new Rock and Roll All Night, because everything else on here is just so strong, and then just a super basic song in the middle of the record pisses me off a little bit, but I never liked that too. But I mean, it starts off great. You get the bombast of I Stole Your Love and just rips right out of there. And then cool little old rock and roll 50s style Beatles moments from Gene on Christine 16 and Got Love for Sale, kind of that whole heavy Beatles thing. And personally, Hooligan is one of my favorite Peter Criss tracks. Just awesome. And of course, Shock Me, one of the best riffs ever. And Ace's first lead vocal, and what might be my favorite Gene song of all time, and Almost Human.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's heavy, it's Kiss, but it's got kind of like this almost otherworldly goth feel to it because of the way he sings it, and then along with the lyrics. I really fucking like that song. It's a good one.
Colin Madden's in the chat, and he says he agrees. He loves Love Gun. It's the last of the great Kiss albums. So he agrees.
Oh, it's the last Kiss album. It's the last to feature all four members on the
Oh,
whole
yes.
thing.
That's true. Yeah.
True. But I
All right.
do still like Dynasty and others.
All right, Ralph, the Kiss master. What do you got?
Yes.
Well, I'll set it up a little bit, going back to Destroyer. How when Destroyer was released, it was a flop, and they were freaking out. So that's what inspired them to run and do Rock and Roll Over to get more of the old vibe. And while they're doing that, Beth becomes a huge smash. But Rock and Roll Over is already done. So what Greg said earlier is true. They incorporated more on Love Gun, which still had the great, to me, the greatest Kiss producer, Eddie Kramer. And on Love Gun, you know, like Almost Human, they put in like kind of those sound effects of God of Thunder. And it was just a little more adventurous, where it was kind of like Rock and Roll Over meets Destroyer. It's a combination of both. I mean, love, and may I say, I have never sucked a dick in my life. But I love that last track, Then She Kissed Me. I love it.
Ralph, I hate to say that, but are you sure about that?
No, I'm positive. And I'm sure if I go suck a dick, I'll love it even more. But
You know, the funny thing is, I didn't mind it when I was younger. I actually used to like it a lot. Just as I've gotten older, just something about the way it doesn't sound honest. And I mean, I can listen to it on the vinyl when I have to, but if I had the CD in, I'd skip it.
all right, I'm not the biggest fan of Tomorrow Tonight, though. I do love the live version on Alive 2, which was recorded during a sound check.
So live.
Because Tomorrow Tonight was never played live back then. Yet it's on the live album, as well as Hard Luck Woman. The song never played live back then. Yet it's on Alive too. But I love the fake ass Tomorrow Tonight version on Alive too. I think it's great. I think it's the female vocals that ruin it for me on the studio album. And the one song I can never ever get into, and very loved by Greg as well, I can never get into Hooligan. There's something about that song, and I love Peter. Peter's got the greatest voice in Kiss, in my opinion. I think his voice is the best voice out of all of them. But that's the one Peter song during the Kiss era I just can't get into, man. But everything else, what a great opener. I Stole Your Love. Love Gun is a classic. Christine 16. They were a little cashing in a little on the popularity of Happy Days too, making it kind of
totally.
What else? Got Love for Sale's awesome. I like the version with Eddie Van Halen that's on the vault. What else is on?
Did you like the original Then She Kissed Me? Do you like the Kiss version over the original? I mean,
I gotta listen to it again, though I have heard it, but I don't remember quite how. But it's a girl singing it because
yeah.
it's Then He Kissed Me, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't
Yeah.
understand for the life of me why Paul would change that title.
Right.
It did work well in Goodfellas, I'll say that.
Then
Yes,
She
it
Kissed
did.
Me is in Goodfellas.
Yes,
And-
it's the
and
scene
the-
when they're
the
walking
original.
under the Copacabana.
The restaurant
walking
scene,
the
right?
back,
They're
yeah.
going through the back of the restaurant.
Yep.
Yeah.
8
okay.
takes of that one scene.
Damn.
Jeez.
But yeah. No, you know what? Plastic Caster's okay. I don't love it. It's just kind of like whatever. Yeah, I don't hate it at all. And what else did I miss? That's it, right? I named them all.
Yeah, that was it.
So that's what I feel about. I love Love Gun. I do love the album. Couple, missteps, but I'm okay with that. And yes, it is the last of the classic Kiss stuff.
Shocked me. Did you mention
You
Shocked
know,
Me?
Love Gun sounded. There was a very similar sound to Love Gun going all the way to the first album. Where after this album, the music drastically changed from disco pop, heavy metal, conceptual, but it never went back to this until like Sonic Boom, and that was horrible. Them trying to do this again, it just didn't
don't
work.
work.
'Cause you need the original four. You don't need copycats and scabs to make an album sound like the 70s. You can't do it. It's got to be Ace. And they dropped the ball. Imagine, man, if they would have made an album like this with Ace and Peter during Cycle Circus, I think it would have been a very well received album if they could have done something that sounded like that, which I think they were very capable of doing. Some, simplistic. Kiss means keep it simple, stupid, right? You know, so,
Right.
you know, make some simple rock and roll like the 70s stuff, which never, I don't think any album has touched the 70s stuff. I love Creatures and all that, but none of it touches 70s Kiss. I mean, that was a perfect discography with a couple clunkers here and there. And I think they had it in them to do another album like this or Rock and Roll Over for Psycho Circus if they would have had everybody's input. But no. And that's what I think of Love Gun.
The other new guy here, Craig, your turn.
So I was pretty late to the Kiss game. I always thought they were, you know, I was a super punk rock guy. I always thought it was very corny, very not for me. Obviously, this guy at the time I had a very big blue mohawk. I looked like an idiot. And I was like, oh, this band's not for me. They're not, I was listening to a lot of like hardcore at the time.
Yeah.
So my roommate at the time, one of my favorite movies was always Detroit Rock City. And I didn't like the soundtrack. I just liked the movie. And he was the one like, dude, like you really should give Kiss another try. And I'm like, I don't know. This is probably about 6-7 years ago. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I love the movie. Like, fuck that band. I don't know if I can curse. Can I curse in here?
Of course you can curse.
All right, cool. I was like,
of course.
Yeah.
We're not making any money. Curse. Say fuck. Go ahead.
But he was the one who's like his first one. He goes, dude, listen to Love Gun. And he had an original copy of Love Gun, my roommate at the time, with the gun in the vinyl. And I didn't realize the opening song of Detroit Rock City was I Stole Your Love. With like Lynn Shay, like falling over, which I think is one of the best.
It isn't I Stole Your Love, it's Love Gun.
Oh, or Love Gun, or whatever. Like, it just rules. Like, I was just like, holy shit. Like, I just thought this was like the disco band or like the rock and roll night band. And then it opened up my mind to the rest of Kiss. Like, then I heard the first record, which I love the first record. And, but I will say Love Gun is my favorite Kiss record by far.
I didn't know you started that not long ago. I didn't know. What's that?
Yeah. Very, very new to it. And like I said, I came around, but like I said, I was kind of a pretentious, Mr. I'm too punk for anything. Like,
it's Kiss. They got the makeup.
Here's a test. Were you a Census Fail fan?
Not at all.
Oh, thank God. Okay. All right. We're good.
I'm wearing a GBH shirt, man. Come on.
Census fail.
They wore them too. That's what I'm saying.
Census fail. Shame on you, Lou.
The fact that I know of them. Yes. Shame on me.
Shame on you. Anyway.
Shame.
What is Greg whipping out here? I hope it's a record or something.
It was the Love Gun record, but I can't see it with the Halloween.
The background kept
trying to figure out how to turn off the background. Give me a
Does it have the gun?
Yeah, I think
that's what I was trying to show, but it wasn't.
So
I've never actually seen the record with a gun
to say to you guys here.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I am the
we
guy
accept
who
you.
Yeah, thank you. That I haven't listened to a lot of these old metal albums, a lot of the Iron Maiden and the Judas Priest songs. That was the first time I ever had heard them before. I never listened to this album until we started doing this. So this was my first time ever going through it without any, without knowing any of the songs.
All right. Well, I wasn't up to you yet. Craig, what do you think of the album Love Gun?
Well, I love it. And it's funny.
You already said that.
Well, I love.
I know, but like song wise, like is it what favorite songs you don't like?
I love the whole record. To be honest, like I love I Stole Your Love. I think it's a banger of an opening. I love the closer. The cover, which is funnier because I think that's the closest to Ramones they would ever get, because that to me reminds me of a Ramones song.
Yeah, true.
It has that doo-woppy vibe to it. And yeah, like I think it's their best record. I'll listen to it front to back. To me, it's no skips.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear Kiss do Rock and Roll Radio?
No, I never knew that was.
I have.
Really?
Oh, I think that's cool. Actually, I like
it. Was on the 2003
really
Ramones
cover.
tribute.
Yeah,
it's a good cover from Ramones tribute that Rob Zombie did.
Okay.
And Kiss is on there doing Rock and Roll Radio. It's really, really good.
Yeah, it's
Both
really
Ian and
cool,
Paul
dude.
both sing it.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow,
Gotta
that's
check
cool.
that out. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's cool. Look up. It's good cover.
Yeah, either. Should there's something else I was gonna say. Yeah, go ahead, James. I'll interrupt you again.
Oh, fine, thank you. That's fine. I mean, it's what you do best.
Yes.
So yeah, so like I said, this is
Go
the
ahead
first
with
time
your
I
yellow
ever
hat.
actually sat down and listened to this album. So like I'm not saying I wasn't a big Kiss fan. I just never really said, oh hey, let's listen to Kiss. So that's my first time ever sitting down. So Still Your Love. For some reason the Amazon mix, it sounded like shit, but the song was good. But it was hard getting over the whole listening to it. It sounded really compressed. So I really wasn't enjoying this.
No.
Christine 16, I'm not going to comment due to legal reasons. That's not going to happen. We're going to go right through on that one. Got Love to Sell. It's hornier than Turbo Lover. So we got that. I mean, it's got that going for it. It's pretty fucking horny. Shock Me. Never thought blues could need a cold shower. Ace is a Sub makes sense. Because that song is very, very sub heavy. If you know, you know. Tomorrow and Tonight. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, yes, I know it's kind of poppy and it's a radio hit and everything, but I didn't think it was a bad song. I thought it was actually pretty good. Love Gun. Love Gun, great solo. It's just really fucking horny. God damn it. This is the Horn Dogs album. I mean, if they could write about anything
Who the
other
hell
than just
cares with the drums and the riffs like that, though? It's Kiss. They sing about fucking and fucking and fucking. And you know what the last song's about? Fucking.
fucking. Well, trust me, we're gonna get through that here, okay? All right, we're almost there.
Love Gun's about his dick.
Yes, I know. Trust me, I know.
No.
Really?
What movie?
Get over
Anybody
that
watch
one.
Role Models?
I said
Yeah.
role models. Xanthia. Come on, man.
Yeah. Hooligan. Fucking where the fuck they just busted out southern rock right out of the middle of nowhere. That's a fucking amazing ass song. I thought that was great. Almost Human. Someone please feed Gene. I know he's horny, but at least it might help if he has a full belly. It's a funky ass tune though. I mean, that's actually really good. I actually liked it. It had a lot of groove in there. Plaster Caster. Good thing Gene Simmons is great at branding because he can't write for shit. And then She Kissed Me. All I could think of was Goodfellas, and fucking it was like Jersey Shore Boardwalk fucking doo-wop shit, and which is great. Then because then I immediately went into the Ramones, which is just hey, we have an idea for a punk band. What are you guys gonna do? We're gonna do punk and we're gonna do doo-wop at the same time. Oh, great. And how are you guys gonna look? Oh, we're gonna look like Howard Stern, but like before Howard Stern.
Willie Survive says Love Gun is peak Kiss. 77 was the pinnacle.
I'll agree with that.
Does anybody here have the actual Love Gun album cover?
Yeah, Greg does.
Greg, the
does.
Greg.
You can't see
Greg.
it.
Yeah, his background's kicking his ass.
Well, Greg, look at the back of the cover. This is not proven. It is like a rumor, a myth.
Mhm.
The back of the album cover of Love Gun, the way the songs are written out, because they're not in order. It's in the shape of a dick and balls.
Shocker.
You see it, Greg?
I mean, yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
And with
You
the color
did point
purple
that out
there,
on
it
your
helped, too, with that
review.
purple helmet warrior,
It kind of looks like it is a rumor, though. But I was like, yeah, I can kind of see it.
I can see his cock and balls.
Kind of, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's a pretty thick fucking dick.
Or
You're
yeah,
gonna
it
get like that,
Huh.
One of my
Well, we know it's not yours,
That's
James.
a girth right there.
Obviously, one of the artists is Spanish, based on our people. But anyway,
Go ahead.
I love the bloody Kiss logo on this. I mean, on mine because it's Japanese. It's on the gatefold, but
fucking guy.
oh, that's cool, dude.
Go ahead, Manny.
Okay, before we get started, Then She Kissed Me, Phil Spector production way back in the day from the Crystals. I hate the original version. I hate this version.
Really?
I hate it so much that I wish that Phil Spector had shot Eddie Kramer before he went into the studio. That's how much I hate it.
That bad?
No.
That's how
hate
you
that
really
song.
feel
Matter
about
of
it
fact,
there, Manny.
I'm going to say it even before Phil Spector became he's now a dead guy, but a murderer. I thought his production was shit. I always thought he was overrated. And I don't see why people like that oversaturated 3,000 instruments for a 3-minute song. Fuck Phil Spector. All right, now let's go to the songs.
Yeah, you feel better now? You feel better now, Manny? You feel better?
I do, because he's overrated shithead. Fuck
Oh wait,
him.
he's coming on the show. Phil Spector's coming on the show right now.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
what,
From the
ghost?
fucking grave of hell?
The ghost of Phil
Well, then
Spector.
hell.
ghost
The
of-
living
he's
dead
been dead for
man.
3
And he
fucking
still has a
years
gun.
almost.
Yeah.
That
Just as long
dumbass
as he doesn't
pulled a
come with
gun
that
on
horrible
John
wig.
Huh?
That Phil Spector's such a dumbass. He pulled a gun on John Lennon. He pulled a gun on Dee Dee Ramone. This guy is just he's a complete whack job. And he should have been arrested for crimes against music. But no, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Rolling Stone. Oh, he's the greatest producer ever. Fuck you. All right, let's go back to Love Gun now. Wall of sound, wall of shit. Anyway, I love Love Gun. I Stole Your Love, kick-ass tune. Christine 16, I don't know who plays the little piano part on there. I'm assuming it's Eddie Kramer. I'm not sure.
I think it is.
But
Eddie
that
Kramer.
song, is it Eddie Kramer?
I
But
believe
that is
so.
really,
It is Eddie Kramer.
yeah, that is really cool. That's one thing that should be mentioned. Eddie Kramer worked with Jimi Hendrix and Led Zeppelin. Eddie Kramer, and I prefer Bob Ezrin as a producer, but Bob Ezrin, if you're not cutting in the studio, he'll get somebody else to do it. He did it to Richard Wright in The Wall. He did it to the guys in Aerosmith, and on $1 Billion Babies, he did it to the Alice Cooper guys. He just brings in session guys to do solos or whatever, just to finish things up. Eddie Kramer doesn't do that. You're in the band, your guys are going to do the work, and that's what's cool about him. Shock Me is really, really cool. And I am surprised that song is not like, that song should be all over classic rock radio. I don't get it. It's a great,
probably
great song.
the heavy S&M themes.
Yeah, I guess so, but it's Kiss. I mean, you got songs about, I want to fuck you like an animal, and they're going to complain about that. And that's
Listen,
like 30 years old now.
If 80s radio still plays Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Relax, Don't Do It, then
Yeah,
that's a bad argument.
it's a terrible argument, but I love that song. All right, Tomorrow and Tonight. I used to like that song when I was a kid, but then my balls dropped. Love Gun. Love Gun is a great, great, great tune. I love that song. Plaster Caster. If you own a Kiss album and one song doesn't lyrically make you cringe, then Kiss aren't doing their job. But I still like that song. I think it's cool. Then She Kissed Me, steaming pile of shit. I hate it. They could have replaced it with any other song. And I forgot Hooligan, which is a great, great song. I love that song. That actually, was that you, Craig, that said it reminded you of the Ramones, or was that She Kissed Me?
She Kissed Me.
That was the Kiss Me, yeah.
I think
Hooligan's very like Southern rocky, like that thing's got some girth to it.
To me, it reminded me of that reminded me more of the Ramones. I don't think it sounds like anything like the Ramones, but it kind of harkens back to that 50s / almost 60s, surfer, garage rock sound, Hooligan, Don't Want to Go to School Again. Yeah, lyrically, Bob Dylan wasn't losing any sleep, but it works, Almost Human is a great song. Lyrically, again, nobody puts on a Kiss album to, think about the problems of the world or contemplate your navel. You put it on because it rocks, and I like Almost Human. I have to agree. I don't think it's their last classic album, but I think it's the last classic album with the classic lineup. And on Destroyer, we forget, or maybe we don't forget, that Bob Ezrin brought in some guys to do a couple of solos. I think he brought in, I'm about to mention him, Wayne, Alice guy, Dick Wagner, for a guitar solo on Destroyer.
Yeah. This isn't a Manny episode without bringing up Alice Cooper.
Amen. Anyway, that's my take. Great album.
Lou.
First, before I begin, I just want to publicly thank Mr. Ralph Vieira for the awesome vocal on the Severed Angel album. Thank you, Ralph, for doing that.
Thank you for having me. I'm very proud of that album. That album rules.
Yes, I saw the review. Awesome, man. Thanks. So fast rewind to November 1993. 13-year-old kid listening to 89.5 FM WSOU in my bedroom. Top Jimmy's on the air from 8 to midnight. And he played Shock Me from this album. My first time ever hearing it. I never heard Ace sing before. Never heard him rip a solo like that one until I heard that song, because the only Kiss album I had owned until that point was Destroyer. So I wanted to get Love Gun, but I saw Hotter Than Hell, loved the Japanese artwork on the album cover. At the time, I was like a huge Dragon Ball Z fanatic. So, I bought that one next. So my third album was Love Gun. And that album, that one and Cheap Tricks at Budokan were the soundtrack for my summer of 1994. Because like I was just going back and like discovering classic rock, because I really wasn't a fan of what the kind of rock that was on the radio. I was never really into Nirvana, was not into Pearl Jam, didn't like Green Day. So, I figured, all right, well, let me go back and discover old stuff that I might have missed. And, those two albums, they were my 94 summer albums. And I still love Love Gun to this day. I can look at it objectively and say, yeah, there's certain things about it that I could, pick apart, but, it's Kiss, it's good time rock and roll music. I Stole Your Love is a ripper. I just love that song. I have a hard time listening to Christine 16 today because I have a 5-year-old daughter. So
yeah, but here's the thing. You guys bring that up a lot, and I get it to an extent, especially Lou, since you have kids. But they wrote these songs for teenage boys about teenage girls.
Yep.
But I'm listening to it now at 43.
It's someone writing a novel. I feel like
I'm 38. And I hear it now, and it kind of hurts.
I guess it's different when you're a teenager listening to it. Yeah, you're right. But I'm still listening to it now because I still love the album. So it's kind of weird.
But don't
It
you
is,
think,
but
don't
yeah,
you
go ahead,
think
Rob.
they should re-record it now as Christine?
I think it should be about Christine 60, and we should be singing about MILFs right now. That's
That's
very
what I'm
Absolutely.
saying.
I mean, have you
A
seen
song
Selma
called
Hayek lately?
Christine. No, check it out. A song called Christine 60, right? And Gene's talking about wanting to bang her and getting her after school. I mean, the girl's so stupid. She's still at school at 60 years old.
Well, hey,
And Gene is going to get her at school and have sex with Christine 60. That's
Well,
hot, man.
Peter dropped out of school when he was 22. What the hell were you still doing in high school at 21?
Have you looked at Peter Chris's lyrics and you asked that? Anyway,
No, Lou,
But,
Lou, you were talking smack about 94 rock music. Jar of Flies came out in 94.
I actually liked all those bands he mentioned, but
Well, I did
Probably
love Jar
have
of Flies. I love Alice in Chains. Sorry, Manny, but I
Yeah.
wasn't really a fan of like everything else. I mean, I didn't want to hear Daughter on the radio, like from Pearl Jam. It's like, don't call me daughter. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
How
that's
old
what
was
coming out.
Kiss? How old was Kiss when they wrote this album?
They were still in
27.
their
Peter was about
20s.
32.
So,
yeah, but guys, keep in mind, and then Lou, I'll continue, but the culture back then is different than now. There was no Me
Totally
Too movement, and those kind of songs were pretty prevalent. UFO, Too Young to Know, Blues Guys, Good Morning Little Schoolgirl, John Lee Hooker, the movies, even Fast Times at Ridgemont High. The first scene in the movie is I can't remember the actress's name, gets in a car with a high school kid. Nobody thought twice about that stuff ever. You know,
Well, looking now, with the Monday morning quarterbacks, people are calling Ted Nugent a pedophile, but what Ted Nugent was doing in the 70s was no different than what Steven Tyler did, no different than what Jimmy Page did. And it was well documented that these are rock stars with underage girls. It was well documented back then. And kind of like nobody even cared.
not only that, both Steven Tyler and Ted Nugent publicly said this before it became an issue. It's not like it's suddenly some investigative reporter saw the light of day and discovered these people. They actually said so publicly way, way back. Anyway, sorry, Lou.
Well, not to mention in Ace's autobiography, because I did read it, he did dox Paul and say that he was guilty of the same thing. Now, again, this is Ace, but Ace, like Ruff, my favorite member of Kiss. So, you take what you want from that. So, Shock Me, love it. Tomorrow and Tonight, yeah, it's cheesy, it's hokey, it's a wannabe Rock and Roll All Night part 2, but I enjoyed it. Love Gun. So yeah, wait, I didn't know at 13 he was singing about his dick. So
I didn't either.
but can you imagine what it would have been like if Paul Stanley had gone to a bar mitzvah and his uncle Yosef comes up to him? He's like, Paul, I don't get it. The first time you had a song about the tukis. This time you have a song about the schmeckel. I don't get it. Whatever, just you kids have fun. You do what you want. L'chaim.
The schmeckle.
I'm just saying, but
Lou, that was a little too on the nose there. That was a good impersonation.
Well, I'm from Queens, so we it was a very multicultural melting pot. So hello to all my Jewish friends back home in Astoria. Love you all. Anyway, let's see, and Hooligan, yeah, I like the album. I even like the cover song that Manny butchered because of the association with Phil Spector. But yeah, no, I mean, to this day, it's still one of my favorite Kiss albums, and I still go to it.
Very interesting. All right. When I went back to listen to this album for the show, I thought I remembered this album being a lot better than it ended up being when I listened to it. Oh my God, that just sounded fucked up the way I said that. Anyway,
Take two.
English
take
way?
two. Yeah, exactly.
Damn it.
Let's start it over. There's some real clunkers on this album. All right. I thought I liked this album a lot more. But there's also some really staple Kiss songs on here. The Good. I Stole Your Love. First time I heard this song was when I heard who covered this?
Halloween.
Anyway, thank you. Ooh.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, go
That
ahead.
makes sense.
Yeah. So and actually I think I like the Halloween version a little bit better, but the Kiss version is great too.
Shocker.
You musical
Way like
pygmy.
Halloween.
But I've been a fan ever
Freaking
since.
fucking dude.
Christine 16, just a cool, catchy pop rock song, really cool guitar solo. Love Gun, one of my top favorite Kiss songs, some really cool bass lines from Gene, one of Paul's best vocal deliveries. Almost Human, a song I really never liked previously, but it's grown on me. They brought back the sound they had like with the Wicked Lester era with those bongos and things. I thought it was kind of cool. Plaster Caster, great song, just a bit weird when you find out when you're older what the lyrics mean after you used to sing them when you were younger. The Bad, the rest of the album. The worst is Tomorrow and Tonight. Kiss isn't known for their poetry, but it seems like they were just trying to write another rock and roll all night song, which totally sucks. Hooligan, again, just stupid lyrics. Dropped out of school when he was 22.
I already made that joke, Wayne. Move on.
Well, hey, I should have went first. Got Love for Sale. The music is good, but it just needed different lyrics to make it flow better. Shock Me isn't that bad, but it's a weak Ace song. Then She Kissed Me.
What?
Yeah, sorry.
Jesus
You musical
Christ, dude.
pygmy. Jeez. Anyway, go ahead.
It's no Dark Light. Then She Kissed Me. I don't hate the song. I just don't want to hear Kiss sing it. The album itself is half good, half bad. It's got some really iconic artwork. I just wish more of the songs matched the attitude of the album cover. And then one thing I thought of, I think this album could have been a lot better if it had a different track listing, like if it was rearranged differently.
You thought the sequencing was off?
The sequence, yeah, I did not like it at all. I came up with this sequence: Love Gun first. Started with Love Gun.
Okay.
Christine 16, you could leave that, and then Almost Human, Shock Me, Got Love for Sale, Tomorrow and Tonight, Hooligan, Plaster Caster, and end it on I Stole Your Love, and get rid of the Then She Kissed Me.
That is
I
terrible.
disagree, but it's good.
Yeah, you're obviously-
You know what though? I think
Put it
maybe we could
together.
all be in
Listen to it.
agreement on one thing. This album would have been better if Rocket Ride was on it.
Yes. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that, Lou, because, well, 4 years after You For You was summer of 94. For me, it was summer of 98 after the reunion and went to those shows and all that. But there had been a lot of shit that I hadn't heard because the only ones available to me were from the self-titled up to Alive. Well, I think I might have had Destroyer too, but I didn't really like that at the time. But I discovered Love Gun because I had the Freely's Comet Live +4 video, and Shock Me they play live.
Yeah, I didn't talk about Shock Me.
I didn't think you did.
That's like my favorite Ace Frehley guitar solo in there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's the first time Ace sang. And what a song, man. What a riff. I love the opening drum beat. And it's just a ripping tune. Yeah, Shock Me, probably my favorite track off this album. And I forgot to mention that one.
That's okay. I forgot to mention the title track, and that's what
I forgot to mention Got Love for Sale. Here's my take on it. Shit lyrics. All right, go ahead.
Oh, come on.
Oh, jeez.
Nobody thinks like the original track listing though is kind of like wonky. It just seems it doesn't flow as well.
Didn't even
I
think
it's
about
always
that.
perfect.
I never thought
I didn't even
about
think
that.
about that because all the songs are completely different when they play.
They are, but I think
I
it
didn't
has
think
a
about it
flow.
either.
It needs a
I
flow.
would probably only switch Almost Human to the second to last track and put Plaster Caster before it.
Yeah, I would put Plaster
probably be the only
Caster
thing I would
maybe
change it.
ahead of a few songs.
It just seems like they just
Yeah.
wrote a bunch of songs, didn't care
Actually-
what order they went in, just threw it out
I think
there.
I Still Your Love is the perfect opening track.
Do they even?
I agree. That's the best
Yeah.
Kiss opener in my
One of
opinion.
the greatest
Yeah.
opening tracks on any Kiss album. And Kiss always has killer opening tracks.
I agree
Back
with
in the
Ralph.
day.
And,
Yeah, I
and
agree
as,
with
a-
Ralph.
as a guitar player, I got to admit, I thought that the dichotomy of Paul and Ace's guitar solos on that, because Ace did the first half, sorry, Paul did the first half, Ace did the second half.
Greg
I was
looks
really
like
impressed
Grimace.
with it.
Oh, he did.
What?
Greg looked like Grimace for a second. He was purple.
Oh, be nice. You know,
Oh.
but Ace did probably one of the most difficult solos that he ever did, because like his pattern. Yeah, and again, I'm sorry, I'm a guitar geek, so like I'm always
No.
listening for this
I
stuff.
want to hear it.
But like his the way he's doing string skipping as he's going up the scale of the neck, I'm just like, you know, I'm still trying to learn exactly his phrasing to get it right. It's not easy. You know, Ace is a criminally underrated guitar player. I think all the guitar players in Kiss definitely have their place. They definitely made their contribution, but they're not Ace, because he was the original. He set the blueprint going forward for everyone who took after him. And, you know, say what you want. Yeah, he does pentatonic scales. And Ralph, I'm sure you'll agree with me. They can't replicate his feel. You know, like
Yeah,
that's just
no.
something no one will ever take away from him.
Yeah, I agree.
Ace Frehley wrote songs within songs. His solos are memorable. You can sing along to them. It's like every guitar player after Ace, I don't care who you say, they're all good players, but they never wrote a solo like Shock Me. Like, and you know, another great solo on this album is Love Gun.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's a real crappy album, but that smashes, thrashes hits, they take out the vocals, Love Gun, where you just hear Ace's solo. And it's so much better without the vocals, like kind of burying it a little. It's just smashes, thrashes hits has that solo with no vocals on it. And that solo, it's just amazing. Just total Ace, you know, technically not the greatest, but when it came to writing solos, one of the greatest of all time, and nobody in Kiss came close to writing a memorable solo like Ace did in Screw You, Tears Are Falling, and Bruce Kulick. That's right, I said it. Fuck you.
What about Tommy Thayer?
Fuck him too. No, I like him.
Honestly, I get what Ralph's saying, and I do disagree slightly, because as much of a fucking whack bag as Vinnie Vincent is, I would say that solo "When I Still Love You" I would definitely put on the memorable level alongside of Ace. Not better than Ace, but comparable.
I will say that Rio show, Vinny's version of Dr. Love solo was fucking awesome. I mean, awesome. He didn't do it like
Vinny-
it. He did it himself, and it's awesome.
Vinnie Vincent is an awesome guitar player. Just
When he has a
shit-
buffer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he needs to be leashed.
You know, it's funny. Rolling Stone magazine, who hated everything that even hinted at heavy metal or hard rock, they of course hated Kiss. But the one person that stood out to them, they always made it a point of saying the most talented musician in Kiss was Ace Frehley. But again, I guess that was their way of saying the hottest woman in the royal family is. But you know, it was not. You know, but at least they said that much.
Colin Madden says Stray Cat Blues by the Rolling Stones is worst offender of creepy underage lechery.
Really? More than Ringo Starr's You're 16, You're Beautiful in Your Mind?
I didn't even know that Stone song was about underage girls. That's an awesome song off that live
It-
album.
yeah,
Your
that's a
Nyan
great
Out?
song.
That's
I
actually one of my
absolutely
favorite
love
Rolling
that song.
Stones.
I never knew it was a song about an underage girl.
Oh,
Nah,
by the
you
way, Wayne, Colin also responded in regards to the actress from Fast Times. That was Jennifer Jason
Jennifer.
Leigh.
Thank you very much. I couldn't remember her name, so thank you.
did. All right. Okay.
But we all
moving
remember
on.
Phoebe Cates from that film.
How do I ever?
I never saw it.
Different kind of whack job for that. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah,
Moving
that's
right
Judge
along,
Reinhold.
Hey yo.
the other album, Ramones, Leave Home. Greg, go ahead.
My first Ramones album, actually. And this is my original
Wow.
copy that I
Very
flipped
cool.
from my dad. But I love it. It's still my favorite to this day. I'm sure part of it is nostalgia, but the other part of that is, I mean, the original Ramones were such a great idea. And I'll also explain to you a little bit here because I was talking to Manny and Lou about this the other day, why I hate the Sex Pistols brand of punk so much as compared to the Ramones. You know, they went back, they had their own attitude, own style of dress. They took that 60s surf rock, that Phillies or 50s rockabilly type of stuff like that, and then threw it up with some sardonic, idiosyncratic, just outright mean, but funny and sarcastic lyrics. Very New York in approach, as much as they mock the city, which I find hilarious to this day. People that think Rockaway Beach is a song about having a good time at Rockaway Beach. Totally fucking not. It's a great place to go if you want to watch white trash chicks fight over a Coors Light at 9 in the morning, but people don't read the lyrics. And Joey had such a way of putting stuff too. I mean, Glad to See You Go is just so memorable, and as insane as the lyrics are, one bullet in the cylinder, gonna take a chance on her, get his autograph, he's gonna be get the glory like Charles Manson. It's great. And you can say what you want about them only having 3 chords, but I only need to hear a couple seconds of every song on the first 2 records and I can tell you exactly what it is. They were great at writing memorable songs, even though they were short, straight, and to the point, but it's just so upbeat and fun too. I mean, you even get rewarded with a cover of California Sun on the second side, but it's just amazing. You can't beat their humor and their stage presence and just how they play. And then the other thing that I find really important about this one is it's still got all the snottiness and the brashness of the first album, but this is so much better produced. I mean, it is really in your face, in your ears. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it one big punch. It's more like a succession of rabbit punches that knocks you down and keeps you down there with its greatness. But definitely firing on all cylinders here, and it's what makes the Ramones, and just a great snapshot of the East Coast on the 70s. But the fact that they could take that older style of rock and incorporate it into something new and more aggressive and really groundbreaking they were doing, as opposed to a bunch of guys that sound like jackasses that can't play, just creating a cacophony of noise. I get it. It was to piss off the British elite, but that's why I like the Ramones better than the Sex Pistols.
Very cool. Now, Ralph, I didn't notice it was one of your favorite Ramones albums.
Yeah, well, it's one of my favorites too because I discovered the Ramones from the Over the Edge soundtrack, the song Teenage Lobotomy.
Jesus Christ.
I
Sorry,
think-
I didn't know the cat was under the couch.
That's the
Cat wanted to give you a lobotomy.
The
That's
meat.
that's the Keanu Reeves Dennis Hopper film, correct?
No.
No,
No,
it's
that's
about a
River's
bunch of
Edge. You're thinking.
Kids in the
Oh.
Over the Edge is with Matt Dillon's very first movie. It's
Okay.
an amazing movie. And by the way, you can watch it on YouTube for free. You
Yep.
know, if you have ad blockers. If you don't, you're going to get commercials. But I mean, that soundtrack had Van Halen, Cheap Trick, Jimi Hendrix, the Cars. and the Ramones. It was just I never saw the movie. I saw the soundtrack at a store in 1979, and I said, "Oh, I need to get this." I didn't see that movie till like 3 years later on HBO, and then it was blown away how good it was because it was really of my youth. You know, kids of my youth. You know, you had your Kiss nerds and AC/DC fans, all that shit. But it was a great, great movie. It's it's pretty violent at the end. Highly, highly recommended. And so Teenage Lobotomy, I became such a fan of it. And then I saw Rock and Roll High School, where they played Teenage Lobotomy in the movie. I had to have everything Ramones had at the time. Now I'm talking 79. So I either bought this album in 79 or 1980, and I've lived with it all year. I've never missed a Ramones show in South Florida since 1980, and I was underage, and the bouncers put me on the stage to look at the Ramones play, and Dee Dee rubbed my head on the way out of the stage.
That's a cool story, man.
Yeah, that was end of the century. Yeah, I never got to see the original Ramones. That was the first time, and they've been down here a gazillion times since, and I never missed them. I'm a huge, huge fan. I like them more than Kiss, but I will say,
Really?
yeah, I do. But I don't know, man. I think I might have to go with Love Gun in this instance. Though I do love this album. I love Glad to See You Go, the opening track. I mean, I know this shit I don't even have to look up the track listing. It's what is it? Give Me Shock Treatment, I Remember You, Oh, I Love Her So, Cabana Not Glue, Susie is a Headbanger,
Her
Pinhead.
mother is
Pinhead,
Commando.
Now I Want to Be a Good Boy, Swallow My Pride, What's Your Game?
Gonna kill that girl.
You're gonna kill that
Great
girl.
cover of California Sun. My favorite track off the album, Commando.
Hell yeah.
You're gonna kill that girl, and you should have never opened the door. See, I know this shit. It's in my DNA. And there's not a bad song on this album, unlike Love Gun. But
Exactly.
there's something about. I mean, I discovered Kiss first. I was the Kiss nerd in 77, 78 when I heard I Want You. Kiss opened the door for me. And Kiss was never, ever my favorite band, but it was the band the gateway band. Now I have to discover everything hard rock, and the Ramones because of the Over the Edge soundtrack. But this is an amazing album. I love Give Me Shock Treatment. Susie's a Headbanger, Pinhead. Come on. Gabba Gabba. Hey, I mean, what can I say? This is a Stone Cold classic. I absolutely love Ramones Leave Home.
Can't go wrong. Now, Craig, we're finally doing a punk related show, and I had to have you on the show. And I know you've been itching to bring out that record.
The OG pressing. The Ramones are very special to me. So in the 90s, I was a very, very wee lad. My dad did love the 90s hard rock, but he was a huge fan of like David Bowie, Sweet, Slade, T-Rex, Ramones. And so, you could probably guess where this is going. So this is where I was always raised. The Ramones were always in my household, and they were always a band that I knew of. And then I always thought they were a band that only had like 3 songs until I got older in high school. And then I realized how extensive their discography is. And this record, it's not my favorite. It's my second favorite Ramones record. My first is Rocket to Russia by far. But this record is, to me, it's a perfect record of melody, of toughness. It's snotty. It's, I always say punk rock is American, was created in America. The English I love the English stuff, but we made it first. And this record just means so much to me, and it just never gets old. Literally, it's a perfect record front to back. I think the first 4 Ramones records are flawless. And
Really? Road to Ruin too, huh?
Well, Road to Ruin.
I mean, I love it, but they're kind of dipped for me a little bit there. Anyway, keep going.
Oh no, and then it's funny because nowadays, like I almost gatekeep the Ramones because they're a T-shirt band, and I always yeah, it's cool. Like, yeah, everyone knows Blitzkrieg Bops and I Want to Be Sedated, the Rockaway Beach, Rock and Roll High Schools. I'm like, what about like Commando? My first band used to cover Commando. And that was, and yeah, like I said, this and Rocket to Russia are like neck and neck in my favorite Ramones records. But I kind of always go back to those two first. And it's just I love it. And it's and dare I say, and I'm gonna make a bold claim, the Ramones are my favorite American rock and roll band.
Cool. What's your favorite song on the album? On Leave Home.
Probably Commando, followed by I Love Her So, and then You're Gonna Kill That Girl. So it's probably like a tie between those three.
Yeah. Is there one that you don't like or don't that's least liked?
Least like it. It's I mean, if I had to go least liked, it'd probably be I Remember You, but because that's like too happy.
Yeah.
It's like the rest of the record is like kind of cynical, like when you really listen to the lyrics.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I still love that song.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all good. It's hard to pick a song that's not that good on this one, but yeah. James.
So obviously heard the Ramones a lot earlier than Kiss and anything like that. Obviously when I was a kid, got my first time ever watching MTV, it was I Want to Be Sedated. So I was like, oh, who the fuck are these guys? I mean, it was cool, and then freaking obviously went down the rabbit hole in my punk phase of listening to the Clash and everything.
Still in that phase.
Huh?
I'm still in that phase. So
You're still in that phase. See, I still am too, but it expanded. Love this album. I always joke, it's a Ramones song because the guitarist keeps playing the same 3 chords and everything.
It
works. But every song's different, but it's the same chords. It's amazing, and they're all different, but they're all the same. It's great. Actually, the first part of this album is not my favorite, but at the as soon as you get to Oh, I Love Her So, the album just hits another gear with, Susie's a Headbanger. Pinhead's one of my favorite Ramones songs ever. So I love Pinhead. And of course, California Sun. It's always funny now thinking about it, is hearing that all the damn time, growing up in Nevada and hearing that fucking song. And it was used in commercials and everything when it's like the most uncommercial fucking song ever made. It's hilarious. It is one of the most it's one of those just most back ass words fucking songs ever that I just love that people just grabbed onto. It's like Born in the USA is the other one that just no fucking point whatsoever you should be using it in that scenario. Commando, fucking amazing song. You're Gonna Kill That Girl is great. You should never open that door, obviously. Just the side 2 of this fucking album is so goddamn good. I feel really bad. Spoiler alert. I'm choosing this one, and I feel bad because Kiss's freaking Love Gun is really damn good. It's really good. This is the anti what Greg made us deal with the past few months. There, it was trying to choose between a giant douche and a turd sandwich. These are both really good fucking albums.
That was the point, and the fact that they both came out in '77. Yeah.
And just this was really good. And yeah, it's funny. Just hey, we're gonna do this new thing. Punk that had just came out. That was still kind of new with the after MC5 and everything. And we're gonna do doo-wop with it. We're gonna do doo-wop.
Brenda says Over the Edge is a great movie. And Colin, his first exposure to Ramones was Rock and Roll High School, the video when they moved from Brooklyn to Connecticut in '82 and got MTV, and they wore those videos out. I was just going to tell Manny to go, and he disappeared. Lou, go ahead.
At least he muted this time.
Yeah.
So this was the first ever Ramones album I ever heard, like Greg. My brother bought the cassette back in 1990, and I just so happened to walk into my brother Tony's room, and all of a sudden from his radio, the first song I hear is Gimme Gimme Shock Treatment, and I was instantly hooked. And I became a Ramones fan that second. The moment I heard, those chords blaring in a 6/8 time, just loved it. And, as James mentioned, then you have to go into the watering hole. And then, you grow up discovering like all the stuff that they had released before. A lot of it I loved, some of it I liked, some of it was like I wasn't too crazy about Brain Drain, like just to give you that that I'm objective about it. Like, when I heard the song Pet Cemetery, when I was younger, that song scared me, but now that song depresses me because that movie depresses me. But Leave Home, it's still to this day my go-to Ramones album. Reason why I love it so much, I guess, because as a kid from Queens and knowing that the four of them are from Queens, I felt like, they were the hometown band to root for. And, I was born in 80, so I didn't experience the punk thing when it was happening. Looking back, it's kind of funny because the punk thing, while it was being promoted as anti-establishment, it was promoted by the establishment. Like it was promoted by the Rolling Stone and Cream and all that stuff. And I really never cared for a critical opinion of bands I liked. If I liked them, it was because I liked the music. Like my favorite British punk band of all time is The Damned. And nobody ever really talks about them because they either talk about the Sex Pistols, who I do like, or the Clash, who I don't like. So people could tell me all the time.
Craig's gonna cry.
I'll let him finish. I have opinions, but
let him finish. Let him cook.
I would never take away what those bands mean to other people. It's just, for me, The Damned was the British punk band that meant more to me more than any of them. But above all, the Ramones mean the most to me over all of them, because they were just a 3-chord, less than 2 minutes, punk band who hit you in the face, ran away, and then by the time the next song comes up, they come back and hit you in the face again and then run away. And that's what I want out of my loud, fast rules rock and roll music. And the crazy thing is about this album is that it's nonstop. Like all the songs, you just listen to it and you just want more and more. And then when it's over, you can just hit play again. And it gives you like that adrenaline shot that that you want out of your loud rock and roll music. Favorite song, because it meant a lot to me as a kid. I still have to say it's Gimme Gimme Shock Treatment, but that's not taking anything away from Pinhead or Commando. So I do love this album. And Greg, if I offended you, I apologize. I was just not a Clash fan, dude. I'm sorry.
I do have a Clash tattoo. It's all good. So they have
that's okay. I respect that. I respect that.
Well,
The Clash aren't my favorite freaking band either.
never-
I love Dead Kennedys more than I do the Clash. So
I was never into the Clash, and like maybe a year or so ago, this cool dude donated for me to put London Calling against I don't know what, and I absolutely fell in love with London Calling. I think that's a brilliant record, but it's not really punk rock. It doesn't really sound punk, but it's awesome. It's such an awesome record. So I went back, and the first one's really cool. I love Give 'em Rope. Is that
Give 'em Rope? Yeah, that's actually my
Yeah.
favorite Clash record.
That's an awesome album.
Yeah.
And then it was one, and then I couldn't get into Sandinista, but Sandinista's too much to.
It's everything.
Yeah, I got to give it more time because there's too much information there, and I didn't like Combat Rock and whatever. But the first three are awesome. I dig them. And yes, I know it's not popular, and I'm sure it's not popular to you either, Craig. But I'm not a punk rock guy. But I like some punk rock. I love The Exploited.
Hell yeah.
They're awesome.
See them twice.
But me not being a punk rock guy, it'll make sense when I tell you what's my favorite punk rock band. And it's one that Greg doesn't like. To me, the Sex Pistols, the Nevermind the Bollocks, that album is in my top 10 greatest album of all time. And yes, it does sound punk, but it's full of attitude and grease and craziness. And I love the Sex Pistols, but Ramones are this close because I'm a huge fan of the Ramones, and I love Mondo Bizarro, an album that Johnny Ramone even hated. I love that fucking album. But anyway, I'm talking too much.
3 last points I wanted to make, though. I just
No, you
remember being in CBGB's and feeling like I was on sacred ground when I was in there, and just like I was telling myself, I wish I could have seen the Ramones there. I wish I was old enough to have seen the Cro-Mags there. I wish I could have seen that.
I saw a Agnostic Front there at their last matinee, but I was
that's pretty
I
cool.
was about to say, what about Agnostic Front? What do they got to do to get in there?
I saw Agnostic Front, Murphy's Law, Sick of It All, and also this is gonna sound gross, but this is a badge of pride, and I don't care. I took a shit in the CBGB's bathroom.
So you survived COVID.
Yeah, and I survived. So awesome. I had to. I was a very young kid.
I was only there once in '96, and it was a cool band playing that had ex-members of Cycle Sluts from Hell. I don't remember the name of the band, but they were really good. But man, CBGB's was so narrow.
Yeah.
Like, God damn, this club is narrow.
It's very tiny. Everyone says thinks it's like this giant. No, it's like
it's a tiny little shithole.
And
then the stage is like 5 feet off the ground.
It sounded great. It had the best sound ever.
I saw Napalm Death there of all bands. Awesome. It was pretty cool. Second thing, I did get to play the Continental though, and that was cool seeing the Ramones picture up there and being like, wow, I'm playing on the same stage as the Ramones did. That was pretty cool. Third thing, the only band that drinks iced tea out of a Jack Daniels bottle is the Clash, baby.
Well, they're English, so whatever.
All you Van Halen fans will get that reference.
Oh, wait. Is that when David Lee Roth made fun
yes.
of
Yeah.
Then the next year he used Quiet Riot, not the Clash, when it came to Jack Daniels.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Because Kevin Dubrow used to do that. But
if you look up Van Halen live in Montreal 1984, somebody actually filmed it. Dave says it during the show.
What a great poet Kevin Dubrow was. I want to kiss your lips, not the ones on your face. Love it.
Go ahead, Manny.
All right.
I want to kiss your lips too, Manny.
Thank you. I love Leave Home. It's a great album. I'm with Ralph though. I love the Sex Pistols. I don't think it's manufactured punk. I know that Malcolm Leclerc, whatever, all that crap he talked about them, but they were formed there organically. I think Johnny Rodden's lyrics really reflect what was going on in England with the strikes and the garbage piled up to the sea, up to the sky and everything that was going on. So I'm a huge Sex Pistols fan. That being said, I love the Ramones. I think it's a different kind of punk, where the Sex Pistols and the Clash, even later on, like the Dead Kennedys and Black Flag, there was more political and social conscious kind of lyrics, where the Ramones had no real interest in that. The Ramones they love surf music. They love, 50s rock. Those guys, I don't know. I think they're really unique. Also, the lyrics, Commando offers great advice. First rule, the laws of Germany. Second rule, be nice to mommy. Third rule, don't talk to commies. And fourth rule, eat kosher salamis. I mean, that is some great advice that people more often should follow. If they did, we'd have a better planet. That being said, this is a great, great album. Also interesting, the guy who produced this was Tommy Elderly, which I believe is Tommy Ramone, right, guys? Is one of them. Is that right?
Yep.
And the other guy's Tony Bon Jovi, who is cousins of John Bon Jovi.
We don't mention Bon Jovi.
Well, prior to this, Tony Bon Jovi was known for being an engineer for Jimi Hendrix Crash Landing, one of the albums that came out after Hendrix died. But what they did was they took off Billy Cox and Noel Redding and Mitch Mitchell's tracks on it and added studio musicians that Jimi Hendrix never met. So the reason I bring that up, because Tony Bon Jovi can go fuck himself too.
Now
We're committing that sin.
Here's a New York question for the New York guys. with Joey Ramone and all them being so much fans of surf music, did they go to like Atlantic City and all those, or did they go to the Catskills instead because they're Jewish?
I would think they actually did go to Rockaway Beach.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
That's
sure
funny
they
enough.
did.
I don't want to do a plug, but I am playing Rockaway Beach in 2 weeks. Hopefully I'll see some MILFs drinking Coors Light. But
Well, Greg, if you ever come to Florida, we'll take you to Beer Can Beach, and there's a
Oh,
reason
man.
we call it that. So,
love it. Love it.
Sounds
I
fantastic.
don't doubt it.
but I love the Ramones. They were just a fun band. I also think, it's kind of funny. I think Ralph mentioned this, but no, it wasn't Ralph. It was Greg. T-shirt band. When I saw the Ramones, and I saw them in this shit club called, well, I shouldn't say shit, small club called the Cuban Club, which has
What a
nothing to do
shocker.
with Cubans or at all. They just call it that.
Clubs. There's
Yeah.
no club there.
Yeah, just called the Cuban Club. Literally, if there was 100, if this is 1988, if there were 100 people there, I would be shocked. A couple of years after the deaths of the original guys, I suddenly see all these people wearing T-shirts. You start reading articles. You read these articles, you think these guys are playing stadiums. It was not the fact. The other thing, too, is punk rock made a huge commercial impact overseas. In the United States, not so much. Keep in mind, combat rock I think, went gold. London Calling took forever to go gold. Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bollocks took forever to go gold. And I think Ramones Mania was the only one that went gold during the band's lifetime, if I'm correct. Bands that were considered punk like Blondie and Talking Heads, who I love, I don't think are punk at all. No offense to those bands, but they weren't punk to me anymore, maybe. But anyway, off the subject, it's hard to talk about particular Ramones songs because they kind of run in together, and I don't mean that as a bad thing, but I love the Ramones. I even like their cover of California Sun, and I also made sure that Phil Spector had nothing to do with that song, so I can mention it. Anyway,
But I know James mentioned the Dead Kennedys before. I prefer the Dead Milkmen. Thank you very much.
Ooh, that's a hot take
Ooh.
right there.
oh man,
No,
Be careful with that one.
man,
That was the deep cut.
that's
You have
another. That's the next debate.
You have to be
Yeah.
careful.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, Dead Milkmen all the way. Number one, I'm from
Ooh.
Philly. Number two, I can't stand the Dead Kennedys.
They
well,
can't stand you either, Greg.
hey,
Good.
this is a
He can
question
do me
for
a favor
Greg.
and quit fucking singing while he's at it, because he can't, the annoying little cunt.
So
Rob,
this
what did
is
you?
a,
Oh,
no, I was going to ask a question, Greg and Craig. Do you agree with me that U.S. punk wasn't as political as the punk came from the United Kingdom?
have you heard Leftover Crack?
Well, I'm gonna say it. Fuck Leftover Crack. Fuck Stizza. I hate that guy. That's another story for
I'm in agreement with you on that, but
Okay.
I mean,
I'm in agreement with him, with you too. Fuck them guys. But anyway, go ahead.
I mean,
well,
it's not directly focused on it, but you got bands like Fear that
Yeah.
certainly did.
I would say even the MC5, which were like proto punk, like they were super
Yeah.
political, but they were smart with it. Just a different animal. I mean, what was going on in the UK? Like you had like the National Front coming in and all that stuff, and then over here, obviously, America. Then the Ramones were just, I don't know. It was almost like a gleaming, snotty light at the end of the tunnel. That's the way I've always seen it.
And they were, I mean, commenting on shit that was going on. I mean, Carbona Not Glue's a perfect example. They're just doing it in a fucked up, snarky way.
yeah.
They're just being snarky about it instead of being. in
Well,
your face
they
about
also
it.
had Bonzo Goes to Blitzburg, which is about Ronald Reagan, and
right, and
It just-
Johnny made sure he changed the song title because their lyrics may not have been super political, but Johnny and Joey hated each other over their
yeah.
complete opposite
yeah,
politics.
they were complete opposite political animals.
I
That's
mean,
true.
Joey wrote the KKK took my baby away in tribute to Johnny
Johnny, yes, I know, which
for
is
stealing his
great.
girlfriend.
Yeah,
I will say
Yeah.
that Jai Ramone has the funniest. Well, the Ramones have the best speech in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame history when Jai Ramone thanks George Bush
Yeah.
and then Didi Ramone thanks himself.
You know, it's funny. I saw Dee Dee Ramone at a place called the Brass Mug in Tampa. I feel like a few weeks
Drinking
before he
Brass
died.
Monkey.
Well, he was
Fuzzy
playing
Monkey.
he was
he doing
playing a
like
show,
rap
and
album or something?
he wasn't promoting that DD King shit. Do you remember
Mm.
that
Yeah,
god
I do.
awful?
Rap, yeah.
Oh,
I
That
love
was
it. I
great.
don't
What are you
care.
talking about? That was the most.
Hey, are
that was
you-
the best.
I
that
play
was
that
the
at
best
parties
ever.
all the time.
yeah. Well, you know, I play that if like people are at my house and I want to get rid of them. I'll play this. Yeah, but I don't even know if he's promoting anything. I know he wrote a book.
Well, he's dead now.
Yeah, well, he died a few weeks later, and I remember him going, "Oh, I've had a great time. You guys are great," but he looked older than he actually was. You know, I think he was young. I don't remember how old he was when he died, but I think he was younger than what I am right now. You know, but anyway, it was a great show, but he looked old when he shouldn't have looked that old. That's what I remember the most about it. You know,
Ralph was trying to bring up a point before. I'm sorry. What was it, Ralph?
what was that, Ralph? Sorry, Ralph.
No, what I was saying was you live in Tampa, so they had a bigger following down here because every time they played down here, it was either a really big club or a small theater.
Uh-huh.
And I'm talking, you know, starting with because they were playing some smaller clubs during like end of the century and Subterranean Jungle. No, I'm sorry, not Subterranean Jungle.
Pleasant Dreams.
Yes, Pleasant Dreams. But then it just started growing after that, and like even Animal Boy and Hallway to Sanity, all that were in bigger places. And when Dee Dee left and CJ came in, it got even bigger. It was weird. The Ramones really did have a good, healthy following down here, but in South America, they were playing stadiums.
Yeah, this is a fact.
It was
Yeah.
total Beatlemania. They have footage of like people just jumping all over their van, running down the street, chasing. I mean, I'm talking not hundreds, thousands of people are just like, and you see, you know, they're filming from inside the van. One of the scariest things you ever see.
Oh yeah, that was that great documentary. I remember
Yeah.
that.
End
Yeah,
of the Century. Highly recommend
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
End of the Century is a must watch. And it was just brutal how famous they were then. And that was ready toward the end, you know, and I saw the Ramones all the way. I mean, their farewell tour was in Lollapalooza in West Palm Beach on a day that was like over 100 degrees, and everybody in the Ramones came out on stage with a leather jacket on and played with. I was like, you gotta be kidding. That was the very last time I got to see the Ramones, man. And it was just magic. The Ramones were always magic live. It was just such a 1, 2, 3, 4. It was just bashing it out, man. Amazing.
Downshift.
Plus, they were immortalized by song thanks to God himself, Lemmy of Motorhead.
Yes.
We can't
Yes.
forget
Yeah.
that.
Where the Motorhead version's much better than the Ramones version.
And we know.
When the Ramones covered it, I was like, oh, cool. And then I was like, oh, God. The Motorhead version rules, though. That version rules.
Well, Ralph, you bring up an interesting point. Obviously health issues are starting to take a toll because they all died shortly after they broke up. But I don't know. I don't remember them playing after. I'm sure they played after '88 down here, but I don't remember. That's the only time I saw them. But you bring up a good point because suddenly you have Lemmy paying tribute to him. That was sincere tribute. He actually liked them. He wasn't jumping on a bandwagon. There was no bandwagon, you know. But as toward the end of their career, even though their album sales are cratering, they were becoming more popular live acts. So it's kind of interesting. If they'd hung on a little bit longer, unfortunately, health issues, they probably would have finally made money, the kind of money they should have been making all along. Like when the Sex Pistols reunited in 97, you know, they were playing huge places. They wouldn't have been able to do that in the 70s. So it's kind of interesting, you know. Same thing with Iggy Pop. Iggy Pop hung around long enough to see him not just become a cult status, but actually finally make some decent change out of his career. So.
Yeah, Brenda in the chat, she's talking about Richie Ramone and why he left because Johnny wouldn't cut him money for the T-shirts, and
That's part of the documentary.
yeah,
Like, hey, what about a little bit of that t-shirt money, man?
Crazy.
I love that documentary. They really get into the dirt.
And then she said the Ramones got more political as time progressed, which yeah, I do agree with
I
that.
believe that's my girlfriend.
Is it?
Yeah, Brenda. I think.
Smart woman.
Yes, she is. Well, look who she's dating.
Of course.
There you go.
Well,
Wayne, your
can't always
opinion on
be
the album.
winners.
All right. I started with the Ramones very late, actually, as they were on their way out with Adios Amigos. That was the first album I bought of theirs. And then I got the compilation of Mania, Ramones Mania. So, some of these songs are on that. And when I got to this album, those were always the songs that stuck to me because I already knew them. And the other ones were kind of okay. But listening to it for this show, I actually like the whole entire album. There's a couple songs that I could do without, but they're all really good. Glad to see you go. Great opening track. Just wish the opening line didn't sound like Joey says, "I take a jizz on her."
Now I can't unhear that.
Thanks, Wayne.
And I'll ever so. This one is similar to one of my favorite Moan songs. KKK Took My Baby Away and Blitzkrieg Bop, kind of like combined. Pinhead was never one of my favorite Ramones songs because it just repeats itself way too much, but it's catchy musically. Now I Want to Be a Good Boy. Some spots sound like Beat on the Brat. Swallow My Pride. I like this song, but I don't like how they say swallow my pride. I don't like how it's phrased, swallow my pride. It just sounds weird.
Swallow my pride.
What?
Is it like he breaks swallow and then my pride and like he breaks it in half, right?
Yeah, just the way he says it, it's just weird.
Like,
I couldn't tell what he was. If I wasn't looking at the name of the song, I wouldn't know what it was. What's Your Game? Much Needed Change of Speed. California Sun. I used to love the original when I was younger. Ramones do a great cover and make it their own. Commando, again, another song I was always familiar with. Ramones of Mania. It wasn't one of my favorites, but I do like the song. You're Gonna Kill That Girl is probably my favorite song on this album. And the ones that I'm not so crazy about, I Remember You, Cabana Not Glue, and You Should Have Never Opened That Door. It's okay. I don't think it's a great.
Oh, I love that one.
It's all right. But
I love Carbona Not Glue.
yeah, whatever happened to song titles that had 7 words in them?
The emo bands took it too far. That's what happened.
Yeah, the early 2000s MySpace era metalcore emo.
Yeah.
I blame
We
Fall Out
don't
Boy.
talk about those bands, okay?
I blame Fall Out Boy. That's who I blame.
I blame Panic at the Disco.
I hate that band. It's
I hate those fucking bands. I don't think I've said this enough. Fuck Panic at the Disco and fuck Fall Out Boy. All right.
I don't think you've ever said that at all. I'm glad you did.
I agree.
You fucked a lot of people tonight, Manny.
And his hair
And
still looks
Spanish.
good.
Anyway, go ahead.
All right. So, Greg, what album are you picking between the Ramones and the Kiss album?
Oh, Leave Home.
Leave Home.
I
Ralph?
love
sorry.
Love Gun, but Leave Home is just a 10 out of 10, man. That's the perfect record.
All right, cool. Ralph, I think you said it before.
I'm
but
a kid. I'm part of that demographic, man. Being my age in 1977, 1978, you couldn't escape Kiss.
Hmm.
Now, my inner soul and my intellectual brain tells me that the Ramones is the better album.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of dumb. So I gotta go with Kiss because I'm a little retarded. So I know if I was smarter and had a higher IQ, I'd go with the Ramones. But too bad for the Ramones. I'm an idiot. Kiss wins.
Too bad Ralph has a bigger brain down in his pants, which means he goes with Kiss.
Yeah, that's where it's at. Yeah.
Craig, I'm going to ask you, but I think I know where this is going.
So I'll say
Rod Stewart.
Yeah, Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart.
Ironically, that Love Gun is my favorite Kiss record, and Leave Home is my second favorite Ramones record. But I'm Ramones all day. Ramones are a desert island band for me. Like this, I just know. Yes, Ramones.
Cool. James.
Leave Home, and it's nothing to hate on Kiss. It just Leave Home's such a better album.
Yeah.
I will add, I am more of a Ramones fan than Kiss.
Yeah.
I like the Ramones way more than Kiss. This is just one of those examples. All right, I got to give this one a Kiss, even though I love Leave Home.
I don't think there's. I don't think.
Are you
anyone
trying to
hates
talk
these-
yourself out
these
of it?
albums. Yeah. Talk yourself out of this.
I'm totally trying to talk myself.
But I mean, it does show like both these albums are so good, but they are they're different ways of being good. And you know, I think the reason why I give it to Ramones is because the lyrics of Kiss are so bad. They ruin great songs. If they just put a couple more seconds into their lyrics instead of just "I want to get laid," they would have had something there.
Yeah, but
Remember, James, if a Kiss album lyrically doesn't make you cringe once, they haven't done their job.
Well, mission successful because they killed the album in comparison.
All right, Manny, Kiss or Ramones?
Man, this is a tough one for me. I went to the Ramones because I like that album slightly better. But growing up, I probably listened to Love Gun a lot more. But this is, you know, as I get older, Ramones. But Greg, great job, because these two definitely are representation of American rock and roll of not any era, just all eras. I think it's great stuff. Actually, me and Greg talked about it. Aerosmith and Alice Cooper, they both have very heavy British influences, Yardbirds particularly, where Kiss and Ramones are total Americana, in my opinion. You know, it's just really good stuff. So great job, but I'm going to say Ramones by slight edge, not by much, slightly.
I got to give this one to the Ramones only because it's my favorite Ramones album, and I love Love Gun, and it meant so much to me as a kid, and I still love it now. But you know, that's like saying, you know, my ex favorite Kiss album against my favorite Ramones album. So I got to choose Ramones on this one. If you had given me this against Rock and Roll Over, I would have picked Rock and Roll Over. And that's just to give you an idea of, you know, my objectivity with this. But yeah, I got to give it to the Ramones.
Ralph, I'm giving you one more shot.
Oh, what do I do now?
No, dude, let him have Kiss. It's fine.
No, let him keep his answer.
Let him hang.
Let him
hang
keep
on
his
that rope
answer.
he set for himself.
I think it's great he picked Kiss. I think it's
Is that
awesome.
is Kiss your final answer?
Oh, yeah, yeah, man. Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is kiss. Am I right?
Oh!
I can do this.
Like I said,
That
some
was
people-
witty.
Like I said, some people say KISS stands for keep it simple, stupid. I think it stands for keep it stupid, stupid.
I'm gonna go with the Ramones. Shocker. Ramones, yeah, that album's a lot better than the Kiss album. I only like half of the Kiss album, so I'm going Ramones. So Ramones wins.
I'm
As it
surprised.
should.
I thought it'd be a little bit more varied than this.
I did too. I was really shocked.
Not enough
Well-
idiots here.
No, there's not. Next time I'll get
Well,
some more.
Greg, Kiss might have had the edge if they didn't put that shit Phil Spector song.
Oh
on
my
there.
God,
Anyway.
get off that already.
Well, you know,
Yes,
I mean,
the
if I was
substitute
still
Lance Russell.
drinking, my
Well,
might
yeah,
have been
stop
different.
now.
Well, like I said, if you had given me this and Rock and Roll Over, I would have picked Rock and Roll Over. But this
Oh,
one with
well,
Love Gun, I
honestly,
got to give the slight
um,
edge to this.
like as much as I like Rocket to Russia, if I would have picked Rocket to Russia and Love Gun, it would have been Love Gun all the way.
Man, I don't know. That's a great album too, Greg.
All right, that could be next
I
time.
don't know about
Yeah.
that one,
Oh,
Chief.
that's the best Ramones record. I'll die on that hill.
Rocket to Russia is definitely probably, I would say, the peak of that era, but doesn't have the same feel the first two had. And Craig and I could do a whole separate episode on that. We could also do one where I argue with you all about how wrong you are about the fucking Sex Pistols.
I am not wrong. I'm actually
Craig also likes
100%.
I do
right
like the Sex
on the
Pistols,
Sex Pistols.
but
Uh,
I will take the Ramones. all day.
Greg, this is the McLaughlin group, and you are wrong. Okay.
yeah,
I don't get what anyone hears that sounds honest about them. Even their fucking letter to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame sounds so fucking contrived, like they sent it into fucking Tiger Beat or something to make the teenage girl all gooey in the paint. Anyway,
Well, you and I did speak that we respect John Lydon.
Oh yeah, Public Image Ltd is amazing. Just when the
Oh, well.
Pistols first popped up, I don't think he was that way. And then there's also I just don't think a lot of the songs are well written. Like I can't stand Anarchy in the UK. It doesn't matter who covers it. The melody lines
No,
so
Green
odd.
Jelly does a great job with it.
Green Jello.
Doesn't
I know.
Megadeth cover
Well, it
that
was
too?
green jelly
Yeah,
originally, wasn't it? Or
Yeah.
was it green jello?
It was
Green
Green Jello,
Jello.
but then
Yeah.
Jello sued
Okay.
them to not use it
You,
anymore.
you know
Jelly
who
is
doesn't?
green jelly.
You know who doesn't cover that song?
Severed
Seven Angel, which you can buy at sevenangel.bandcamp.com. Now, Craig, you also have a band as well. What
Oh,
band?
I'm doing
You have
some-
so many bands now because we're like competing
Yeah.
with who's got the most bands, but you got more than I do. So go ahead.
Can I grab hold on,
You can
it's like
grab-
right
well,
there.
Grab
Oh,
it.
Yeah,
Grab whatever you
while,
want.
while you're doing that, also buy Ralph's music on Bandcamp, thrashordie.bandcamp.com and combat.bandcamp.com.
I
Great
never heard
bands.
Combat. I
Love it. Bought both EPs. Love them both.
What is the Combat album called?
Combat
It's
and
an EP. It's just called Combat. It's
It's just
just more
called
traditional metal.
All right.
All right,
but
cool.
you also released a 2-song EP where you cover Pussy Tight from Pantera, right?
No, I gave it away for free, but we never released it. It was
Oh,
supposed to be on a Pantera tribute album. Somebody paid us to record that, and I'll tell you a real funny story. Somebody,
Sorry, Craig. Hold on.
It's all good. I had to grab.
it was Combat to do Pussy Type, but also Thrash or Die to do Primal Concrete Sledge. So I go in the studio, I do it. Then a little while later, I heard the end result, and I'm like, that's not me, it's my drummer. And it was my drummer pretending to be me. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, that's not me, bro. Then turn it out later. He's like, yeah, bro, it was me. I was like, why would you do that to me?
Wait, that wasn't Brian, was that?
No, Alex. Alex.
Okay.
Martinez.
Alex Marquez. Okay.
Yeah. What a guy. Well, that was I made sure that was never released. That Primal Conquer said, "No Pussy Tight, go on Reverb Nation and you can download it for free." I got it up there for free with a lot of other songs I've done.
I think I paid $2 for that on Bandcamp. Oh well, that's okay.
Most importantly,
Have it on Bandcamp?
I think I saw it. Yeah.
Somebody else put that up. That wasn't me.
Okay.
Definitely wasn't me. I got to look into that.
But
Right, Alex.
the greatest reimagined cover song of all time is also by Ralph, and it's called Sammy Hagar Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was-
I've been on that. Proud to have been on
that
it.
I am very proud of that opus.
I
Technically, that's the
love
first
that so
Severed
much.
Angel song.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
All right, Craig, go ahead.
Oh, all right. Hey.
You're still here.
Oh yeah, my main is called.
I'm sorry, we got to get going. It's getting late now.
Shut up, Wayne.
My main one's called The Stress. We just came back from tour. We dropped the new EP, Never Die.
how come I was never thrown that CD? Yeah.
Oh, I'll give you one. I thought I
Okay.
did. My bad.
I'll give you
it's
the
on
money.
cassette tape too. We're doing a vinyl run. We're recording the next full length very soon. We have a show ironically in Rockaway Beach in a week, and then we're playing in Lindenhurst Brewery, free show. Then I'm gonna be kind of taking a little bit of a break before we do the full length. And then I'm also in a band called this is our 7-inch Controlled Substance. It's very 80s hardcore. I'd say like Negative Approach, early Agnostic Front.
I love the Doc Martin cover.
Yeah. Well, we did that off the Agnostic Front logo.
Yeah.
So yeah, So yeah, and we just found a new guitar player. So yeah, just never stopping. Just keep playing angry music.
Very
Cool
cool.
stuff.
Where can people go and buy those?
Oh, you can Bandcamp, Controlled Substance, Hardcore, and then it's the Stress NYOI. On Bandcamp, then we're on Spotify. We're all on streaming. And I know there's like only like 10 7-inches left of Controlled Substance. I think it's on State of Mind. Could be wrong. Should know better. We've kind of been inactive. And then you can get our cassette and CD at Day Zero Collective for The Stress.
All right. Very cool. Go out.
I love to
get
check
those
that out. I love
immediately.
hardcore punk. So
Yeah, you'll like his stuff.
Hey,
Yeah, by the
you guys ever heard the Crumb Suckers?
Of
Yes.
course.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Of course.
Life
That's like
with
the best crossover record ever. Come on.
Actually,
Life of Dreams, right?
Chuck from the Crumbsuckers is playing in Carnivore AD
Ooh.
with Baron of Sheer Terror and Joe of Whiplash and Creator. So they're out keeping the music of Carnivore alive. So
Nice. Another band I love is Carnival.
Mhm.
If you can't eat it or drink or fuck it, you must kill it.
that's right. And a big shout out to the Ice Cold Killers, friends of mine and Craig's. Apparently, that's good stuff.
Yeah, I know Joe. I know Joe and the guy from the Clap. Oh, I forgot his fucking. He's a guitar player. He's gonna hear this and be mad at me. But yeah,
Well, I didn't interview him, so it's okay.
just cut that out. I see his fucking face. But it's
Oh,
whatever.
man, it's a shame we're live too. Oh, and he's here in the chat.
Shut up, Wayne.
Ralph, what about you? What are we doing tomorrow? We got a show, right?
Oh yeah, man. Very popular.
It is very
Wayne
popular,
and Manny's always joining me every week. And it's been blowing up, man. People are waiting for our Thursday night Almost Human live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're gonna do tomorrow top 10 Dio songs where we can include Sabbath and Rainbow. Who the fuck's gonna include Elf? I don't know. Tune in and see if somebody chooses an Elf song. That'll be wild. And it's great, dude. And I thank you, Wayne and Manny, for being with me every week and making it very enjoyable because everybody seems to be loving this Thursday night
They do.
live thing, man.
It's been a lot of people in the live chats too. It's a lot of fun watching all the chats and everything and people joining in the show and everything. It's really cool.
Yeah,
It's a lot of
so
fun.
join us tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm bringing Wadzilla with me again. So you know
Uh-oh.
it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I can't wait to join you
has
on
no
that.
filter. Huh?
I can't wait to join you one day. I would love to. It's just, fatherly duties, unfortunately.
Yeah,
No,
whenever you can,
can't
let us know. We'll get you on.
But spoiler alert, my number one song, the greatest song of all time, Stargazer.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Very cool. All right. And I guess that's it. Anybody else got anything? No? James, you
I-
still doing your show? What, Craig?
So actually, no, we so
Oh, sorry.
That's all good. All good.
no, so on my co-host Caleb, we're about to restart up because the new season of college football starting here really soon. So No Huddle will be coming back. My co-host Caleb finally got married a couple weeks ago, so he's back from his honeymoon. So now we can actually talk football again. So
Oh,
we'll be
right.
starting that here next week.
Very cool. Okay, go ahead, Craig. What else you got?
I just want to say just thank you. I know me and you have been talking about doing this for a minute, and this was awesome. Like it was awesome meeting everyone, and I would love to come back if you want like your resident punk rocker. But it seems like everyone else kind of knows like their punk shit. too, but-
Why would
Yeah,
you want to
we're-
do that to yourself?
Yeah.
Or would you want me coming back?
You're definitely always welcome on the show. I've tried to have you come on here a couple of times, but I'm glad you finally got on this one. So, yeah,
yeah.
we'll definitely
One of these
don't
days, Craig,
disassemble
me and
all
you can share
your
the
stuff
Get in
there.
the
You'll
Van
come back
and
on
just
sooner or
just
Oh,
later.
yeah,
after
no,
that.
And
All right.
remember, the 1,000th subscriber to Rat Salad Review will get an autographed copy of this Def Leppard karaoke tribute album that
Please
Wayne and I are
please
on.
take it off loose
I'm gonna
hands.
subscribe right now.
Yeah, how many subscribers do you need to be 1,000? Not many, right?
Not
Yeah,
many.
like
We're at
14
986
more, I think.
So.
Yeah.
Gotta make
14
13
people.
other
Hey
accounts.
guys, 14. Come on, get this off of Lou's poor hands. He's been holding on to it for a long time.
Just one more thing I wanted to mention. There's going to be a at a venue near me called Mr. Beery's. There's going to be a benefit going on. I unfortunately can't be there, but my friend Vanessa Friedlander, Vanessa Meyer, she's called now. That's her married name. She's doing a benefit to raise funds for her friend's cancer treatments. So I'm actually going to contribute a Severed Angel CD into like a gift bag and things like that. So if anyone has anything they would like to contribute for a good cause, hit up Wayne at openyourlife@aol.com or hit me up at musicisLifepodcast@gmail.com. Let's try to save this person's life,
Yeah, very cool.
Fuck
very cool.
cancer.
That's right. And not only will you get that free CD of the Def Leppard tribute, you also get a free Severed Angel CD, and you also get a free Project Resurrect CD and some stickers.
Because we have
If-
too much shit to get away.
Yeah, exactly. If you're the 1,000th subscriber. All right. And you can do that by going to Rat Salad Review YouTube channel, hitting subscribe, and yeah, that's it. All right. Okay.
This is
Thank
a fun
you.
one. Thank you guys.
This was a fun one.
Yeah,
Thank
this
you
is
very
awesome.
much for Craig for coming on the show. It was a lot of fun having you on here.
Hey, you guys.
And thank you, Manny, for showing up. And you too, Greg. Hope everything is
Yes,
well.
Greg, welcome back, man. We missed you.
Yeah.
Thank-
All right. And thank you, Ralph. And thank you. Nah, that's it. Goodbye, everybody. See you in 2 weeks. No, see you next week. I think you guys are doing a show without me, right? Are you doing Zappa?
We are.
I don't know. Are you guys doing a Zappa show?
We can.
I mean, don't threaten me with a good time.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. next week. Why is he saying shush? What?
Smack him a god.
Oh.
Smack him a
Goodbye.
Simone.
It is.
It